I was 48 years old, perched on the sturdy vinyl-upholstered visitor's chair beside Mom's adjustable hospital bed in her sun-dappled private room at the Willowbrook Hospice House, a compassionate facility tucked away on a quiet cul-de-sac lined with maple trees that turned fiery orange every fall. The leaves now just beginning to carpet the walkway outside in a mosaic of reds and golds that cost the groundskeeper $1,200 annually in maintenance but provided a serene backdrop for families in their final chapters. The room itself was a modest 250 square feet. Walls painted a soothing sage green 45 per gallon premium low VOC to minimize chemical odors for sensitive patients, furnished with a twin XL bed 1,800 with pressure-relieving mattress topper 350 to prevent bed sores, a rolling over bed table 120 for meals and laptops, and a small ensuite bathroom with grab bars 280 installed and a walk-in shower 1,200 tiled in non-slip porcelain. The air was kept at a comfortable 72 degrees by the central HVAC system, 220 monthly utility share, scented faintly with a lavender essential oil diffuser 25ID purchased online and refilled weekly with 12 bottles to evoke the sachets she used to tuck into her linen drawers back home, masking the underlying notes of antiseptic wipes 18-pack and the sterile tang of the 4-pole 450 standing Sentinel with its 180 bags of saline hydrating her dehydrated veins. It was a tranquil Thursday evening on November 16, 2023, the digital clock on the Walla Reliable 22 model from the medical supply catalog with large red numerals for easy reading displaying 7:42 p.m. Precisely. The outside world hushed under a gentle autumn drizzle that tapped rhythmically against the energy-efficient double-pane window 450 upgrade for noise reduction, the raindrops streaking down the glass in irregular paths like the unpredictable journey of her illness. Mom was 81 years young in spirit but ancient in body, her once vibrant frame honed from decades of rising before dawn to punch dough and lift 50 flour sacks at her beloved bakery now whittled down to a delicate 92 pounds. A stark drop from the sturdy 135 she maintained until 2 years ago when the insidious weight loss began despite my best efforts with 45 high-calorie nutritional shakes blended with 12 ripe bananas, 8 creamy peanut butter, and 15 scoops of protein powder to pack in 300 extra calories per serving. Her skin had taken on a translucent quality, almost ethereal, stretched thin over a network of prominent blue veins that pulsed faintly beneath the surface, fed by the peripheral 4-line inserted in her left forearm with 22 sterile kits changed every 72 hours by the nurse to prevent infection. Her hair, that glorious crown of silver waves shed proudly maintained with weekly 45 appointments at the Cut Curl Salon on Main Street until her legs gave out last spring requiring a 650 transport wheelchair, was now fine and sparse, strands like delicate spider silk that I brushed each morning with a 12-wide tooth comb to avoid tugging the sensitive scalp prone to bruising from 150 monthly blood thinners. Her eyes, a soft pale blue that had once twinkled with unyielding determination when negotiating 1.20 wholesale flower prices or softened with boundless pride at my high school graduation ceremony costing $180 for cap, gown and photos, now met mine with a raw, unguarded vulnerability, the cataracts 1,800 surgery postponed indefinitely clouding them slightly but not dimming the depth of emotion swirling within. Her hands those miraculous, calloused baker's hands that had shaped thousands of 5.50 sourdough loaves, 4.50 apple pies with lattice crusts perfected over 1.80 butter and 0.89 shortening, and countless 2.50 cinnamon rolls dusted with 0.45 cinnamon sugar were swollen and cool, joints inflamed from rheumatoid arthritis managed with 150 prednisone packs and 120 methotrexate injections weekly, yet she gripped my larger, warmer one with a tenacity that belied her frailty, her nails trimmed short with 8 clippers to prevent scratching during restless nights. The cardiac monitor on the rolling stand 1,200 equipment beeping a reassuring 72 beats per minute, the pulse oximeter clipped to her index finger 48 device reading a stable 94 oxygen saturation, provided a rhythmic underscore to the intimate silence, broken only by her shallow, effortful breaths and the occasional wet cough eased by 15 guaifenesin expectorant syrup dosed at 10 milliliters every 4 hours. The morphine patient-controlled analgesia pump 150 daily rental clicked softly, delivering another 2 milligrams bolus for the relentless abdominal pain from the pancreatic adenocarcinoma stage for that had insidiously spread to her liver, spleen and peritoneal lining, diagnosed 9 months earlier on February 12 via 2,800 comprehensive CT PET and endoscopic ultrasound after she waved off persistent bloating and jaundice as just too many 3.50 greasy spoon pancakes from the old diner days. "Danny," she rasped, her voice a fragile, papery whisper strained through vocal cords weakened by 220 anti-nausea on Dancitron 4 pushes and the general debility of cachexia, pausing to gather breath that came in short, measured sips. "I don't want to be a burden on you anymore. You've sacrificed everything: your career, your sleep, Jenna's patience, little Leo's childhood moments. The doctors say I can increase the drip if I want. Let me go, son. Let me slip away without dragging you down further." The plea hung in the air like incense, vulnerability exposed in every quavering syllable, her eyes searching mine not for permission to die but for absolution from the guilt that had gnawed at her since the first hospital admission. 18,000 bill after insurance for the initial obstruction, tears glistening but not quite falling due to the dehydration managed with 120 electrolyte packets added to her fluids. I leaned in closer, the chair creaking under my 188-pound frame softened by stress-eating 25 takeout burgers on late nights, my own eyes burning from yet another grueling 14-hour vigil mornings meticulously logging her vital signs, intake output in milliliters, and pain scores on a zero notebook app on my cracked screen iPhone 1200 replacement last year. Afternoons sneaking muted Zoom consultations from the family lounge for my demoted consulting role, netting 4,500 monthly down from the 12,000 full-time. VP of Marketing salary ID voluntarily slashed in half to accommodate her needs and whispered back, my voice thick with emotion but resolute, forehead nearly touching hers in the sacred space between us, "You're not a burden, Mom. You never have been, and you never could be. You're my reason for waking up at 5 a.m. to blend your shakes, for learning to change 4 bags with 35 sterile gloves, for every missed promotion and sleepless night. You gave me life, raised me with love that moved mountains, and now in your vulnerability, you give me purpose. Let me be your strength, just as you were mine." In that hushed, heart-wrenching exchange, tenderness flowed like a balm over the wounds of illness, vulnerability bridged by unbreakable love, our roles beautifully reversed yet eternally linked in a dance of give and take that defined us. Our poignant bedside dialogue wasn't an isolated tear-jerker scene but the emotional crescendo of 48 years woven from her boundless maternal devotion seamlessly transitioning into my fervent caregiving, its tender threads originating when Mom was 40 at the exact age I was murmuring those reassuring words and I was a deeply wounded 24-year-old in the crisp, leaf-strewn autumn of 1999. Freshly divorced after a whirlwind 2-year marriage that imploded under 4,200 attorney fees, 1,800 mediation sessions in a stuffy office smelling of stale coffee, and the emotional wreckage of splitting 38,000 in joint savings, leaving me with a 1,200 monthly alimony obligation for 24 months to an ex-wife who claimed the 28,000 Honda CR-V we'd bought together in happier times and our golden retriever Max with his 120 vet bills. ID shown up unannounced at her door with a 45 duffel bag stuffed with clothes and a heart in tatters, collapsing onto the familiar floral print couch in the cozy 2-bedroom bungalow on Elm Street that Shed purchased in 1975 for $48,000 with a 20 down payment, $9,600 scraped from overtime tips and the $85,000 workers' comp settlement from Dad's fatal accident. The same couch where Shed rocked me to sleep as a child with 15 lullaby CDs playing softly. Dad had been taken suddenly when I was 5 on a foggy April morning in 1978, just 38. Operating the overhead crane at the steel mill loading 1,200 coils of rebar when a defective chain link 450 parts snapped under strain, the load crashing down in a thunderous roar that echoed through the plant, crushing him instantly amid sparks and screams. The investigation 2,200 report citing maintenance negligence, settlement $85,000 after $22,000 legal fees and $8,000 funeral costs for a simple oak casket $3,200 and graveside service $1,500. Mom, Evelyn Grace Thompson, widowed at 29 with a kindergartner clutching a 12 teddy bear, didn't shatter, she rebuilt with iron will. She waitressed graveyard shifts at the 24-hour diner on Route 44, earning $2.75 hourly base plus tips that averaged 95 on bustling Friday nights with truckers leaving 5 on 18 tabs for endless 1.20 coffee refills, dropping to 55 on quiet Tuesdays, take home $2,100 monthly after 25 taxes withheld at source. Groceries were budgeted to the penny, $320 for nourishing meals, chicken thighs £1.99 on sale, buying 10 pounds, rice $0.89 bag, fresh carrots $0.69 bunch from the farmer's market, 15 weekly hauls, her baking experimental cookies with $1.20 flour to test recipes for the future. Utilities $180 averaging electric $100 for the window fans, 65 each in summer, and gas $80 for the ancient furnace repaired, $450 annually. In 1982, at age 33, she chased her dream, opening Grace's Bakery in a modest 600-square-foot former florist shop leased for $750 monthly downtown, setting the alarm for 3:30 a.m. to proof yeast dough with 1.50 packets, baking signature cinnamon rolls at $0.65 ingredient cost, selling for $2.50 each, warm from the 2,800 commercial oven, apple turnovers $1.10 cost, 4 whole, lemon bars $3.50 tray, grossing $5,200 in peak holiday seasons with lines out the door, netting $2,800 after $1,400 in wholesale flour, sugar, butter, eggs from the coop, and $500 payroll for one part-timer at 10-hour 25 hours weekly. Life was Spartan, no vacations beyond a 220 weekend at the State Park Campground in 1985 with a 45 pop-up tent and 35 cooler for peanut butter sandwiches. Drove the reliable '80 Buick Skylark sedan purchased used for $4,200 in 1981 until it hit 280,000 miles in 2005, traded in for $1,500 toward a $12,000 Honda Accord. Health checkups were luxuries skipped to save $180 annual physical copays, self-treating migraines with 15 Excedrin bottles and arthritis flares with 12 heating pads. But my future was non-negotiable. A college savings account at the local credit union opened the day I was born, July 15, 1975. Seeded with $100 from her first bakery profit and augmented by $200 monthly deposits without exception, even during the '83 recession when diner tips plummeted 40 for 6 months, compounding at 5.1 interest to $68,000 by my high school graduation in 1993. I pursued a business administration degree, first at community college $3,200 yearly for 2 years, then transferring to State University 150 miles north $11,000 annually, tuition, room, board, books, partial merit scholarship $5,500. Her fund bridging the $5,500 gap, wired faithfully each semester. Emerged May 1997 debt-free with a 3.4 GPA, landed an entry-level sales representative role at a regional food distributor, $58,000 salary plus $7,000 commission, climbing the ladder through grit to VP of Marketing by 2023 at $148,000 base with $32,000 performance bonuses, managing a team of 28 in digital campaigns and $1.2 million budgets. The seeds of her decline were sown subtly 4 years earlier when I was 44, blissfully married to Jenna, my college sweetheart since a 180 blind date in 2012, our wedding a simple park ceremony in 2015 with $5,200 total including 180 wildflower bouquets picked ourselves and $1,200 catered barbecue for 60 guests. Our son Leo, 8 years old, starting 3rd grade at the private academy, $1,200 monthly tuition to ensure small classes and $450 extracurriculars in soccer. Mom had retired at 77 in 2018 after selling Grace's Bakery for $220,000 net after $28,000 realtor commissions and $12,000 back taxes settled, qualifying for a union pension $2,100 monthly plus full Social Security at age 67, $1,600. Total $3,700 before Medicare Part B deduction $174. She downsized to a 1-bedroom senior living apartment in a complex with $1,400 rent covering utilities except cable $75 for her beloved Hallmark Channel. The initial signs were dismissible: 3 falls in 6 months, $850 copay each for x-rays showing no fractures but bruising, confusion with bills leading to 220 late fees on the electric and a 180 water shutoff reconnection, forgetting recipes shed memorized like the 180 pie crust formula. I intervened proactively for my suburban 4-bedroom home purchased 2016 for $480,000, mortgage $2,400 monthly, setting up auto payments online and initiating $1,200 monthly transfers from my high-yield savings apartment, rent $1,400, medications $450, metformin for type 2 diabetes $12,000, 90-day, lisinopril hypertension $80, levothyroxine hypothyroidism $150, calcium supplements $100, part-time home health aide 4 hours daily $3,200 monthly at 20-hour later increased to full-time as needs grew. The cancer revelation crashed like a storm in January 2023 when persistent upper abdominal pain and yellowing skin prompted an urgent 1,800 biopsy confirming pancreatic adenocarcinoma, the 2,800 imaging suite revealing a 4.2 cm mass with liver mets. Chemo regimens 3 cycles $12,000 each, copay feudal as tumor marker CA-199 rose from $1,200 to $3,800, radiation palliative $8,500 for pain but side effects vomiting $220 Zofran. Home modifications $9,200 total, custom aluminum ramp 10 feet $4,200, hospital bed with rails $1,800, patient lift sling system $3,200. Hospice transitioned home first with $4,500 monthly nursing, then to facility when $247 exceeded capacity. Daily acts of tenderness became our language, spoon-feeding 45 soft purees of 8 applesauce mixed with 12 mashed potatoes for comfort, reading aloud 15 classic novels like Little Women in soothing tones for hours, gentle foot rubs with 12 lavender lotion to ease neuropathy, bedtime whispers I love you to the moon and back echoing her childhood sayings. Her plea was the apex of vulnerability. Guilt over robbing my life, my whisper affirmed she was the core reason, purpose rediscovered in care, love's ultimate expression. Tenderness in fragility, vulnerability in strength, love the anchor. What about you? Ever shared a heart-melting moment with a fading loved one? Tenderness amid vulnerability, love's quiet power. Pour out your stories in the comments. I read and respond to every single one. If this tale of whispered devotion, raw openness and unbreakable familial bonds touched your soul, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more narratives of caregiving, grace, emotional depths, and love's enduring whisper.